Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. That would have driven me crazy. I don't know if you saw that. My screen wasn't up all the way, and I have OCD. I have to. That would have bothered me the whole time. That things aren't looking the way that they should look. It's a trauma response, really. OCD behavior, right? Is where we want everything to be perfect. Now, I don't know why I'm saying, but I bet you there's going to be something in this reading that has to do with someone trying to be perfect. And understand perfectionism is rooted in shame when we feel flawed, when we feel that there's something wrong. So there's always a bigger, deeper meaning. So, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Laura, and this is the Virgo channel. And on this channel, I do shadow readings. I do look at everything because we want to know whether or not that person still has feelings, what they're going to do. However, a lot of times the person's damaged. Hey, Debbie. So, if the person's damaged, it just means they have so much trauma that their habits and behaviorisms are in alignment with that trauma. And you don't have to do anything for the person to really be triggered. But the problem is if it was just that easy, but it's never that easy because there's always a component of connection, chemistry, and like just a clear cognizance of ESP through the heart and mind. It's like that person, was with you in a past life. They feel like home on one level. On one perspective, they feel like home, but then on another level, if you grew up in a traumatic home, well, they can really feel like home because they're going to trigger every single wound inside of you. So you get your soulmates to teach you. So it's not because you're a bad person. I always like to tell people because a lot of times I read in the comments and people get frustrated. They get frustrated. They're tired. They're tired of being stuck ruminating about why a person does what they do. Once you know why they do what they do, you can see how you contribute to the imbalances and you can shape shift the energy, not really to benefit them, though a lot of times, or to manipulate, to get what you want, if per se that's to get this person to be with you. A lot of times the energetic connection breaks once you actually integrate the spiritual lesson. If it's a twin flame, if you have learned the lesson and you still have a want and a desire to be with the person, even though they betrayed you, even though if they come back and apologize and they show you different energy, if they're a real twin flame. You also know if it's like a karmic mate. The whole point is to avoid negative karmic consequences that keep us stuck in a place of limitation, victimization, fear, pretty much, which is the opposite energy of what we are when we are, open to receiving, to being able to create really our own heaven on earth, to be able to be the expressions of love. We can't be in that energy, obviously, if someone's pissing us off. So, again, it's more about healing and avoiding negative karmic consequences, breaking negative karmic behaviorisms that are passed down from generations. Remember, you're always manifesting. Now, anything of any importance or relevance, you know where to find it is in the description box. All right. And if you haven't joined my shadow healing coaching program, you should. If you want healing, I always do a topic, and the topic is a topic that usually we see play out in the oracle. It just goes more into depth because healing is being able to recognize when a person comes to you and they have these imbalances, that you can see it, that you don't actually have to go through the entire relationship. Again, you can avoid the negative karmic consequences. I'm going to use a different deck today. We're going to open up, just see the underlining energy, and we're going to jump right on in with my homemade deck. Just because I'm looking to get different energy, you know? I'm being a little tired of these people. Hey, nature. I like your nature. I like your flowers. All right. Stubborn, stubborn. So I feel like you feel like you've been in a Mexican standstill forever. Just you and this person not moving. And it's like this energetic cord, though, that is just kind of there. And so understand there's a fine line between love and hate when that energy sits like that for long periods of time. You're building up a lot of animosity. And so if there's still feelings and attraction, well, someone can mistake that as passion. But I feel like there's this energy that is becoming more and more hostile because you don't trust this person. So the underlining energy is because this person is stubborn, you like it became like toxic, where I don't think that this person thinks that it became toxic because they're toxic. So they don't think that they're toxic. But this is toxic behavior of, I'm going to sit here and just stay connected to your energy and not really give you anything and just watch you. And just, I'm waiting for the right moment to like kind of creep up. Again, and what's happening is you're getting more and more disgusted, is what I'm feeling. Now let's look at things from a completely different perspective. I mean, we never know what we're going to pull out with these cards. But it's like animosity. Animosity. And I feel like someone's getting a lot of anxiety. All right. You can expect an apology. So this person's going to come is I feel like is like getting more and more and more like anxiety, but it's almost like excitement. This person loves drama, and I feel like they're watching you, and they've held back an apology for a long time. I feel like they're using this apology as more like a weapon, meaning like I have to come in with something. And so I don't really feel like they're really sorry. And that's, it's when person uses the apology like, well, I have to say something, but I'm not really sorry about what I did. I may be sorry that you're not talking to me. Like they don't understand why you're really even mad. The great pretender. Like I said, this person like is gonna come in one way, and it's because they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable in being transparent. They don't really know what they want. They're getting more and more anxiety, I feel like, because you're taking your power back. This person loves the challenge. They love that that desire. I don't want to let go. So they don't want to let go of you. That doesn't mean they want to give you anything either. And that's the issue. It's like it becomes control when you take your power back. It's like this person thinks that you're their twin flame. And we're coming up again with the apology, like I said, but it's limited. And I feel like it's limited because they don't really understand what they're apologizing for. They don't think that they're a toxic person. This person's going to try and downplay what they did, is what I'm feeling. Now, I'm not seeing what they did yet. What I see is, again, oh, yes, I do. They were unfaithful. It was flipped over. So they were unfaithful within the connection. And you might have never even, I feel like for some of you guys, you might have never even gotten off the ground 100%, where this person, like, that they were never faithful to anybody. I feel like they were always talking to a lot of people. They wanted you to commit. They wanted you to be like that. I am not available right now. So like I said, they're going to come in and they're going to apologize, but I feel like it's going to be more of the same. And it's because they're sorry for all the pain that they caused. They do feel sorry because of that. Old wounds and childhood issues are revisiting. So it's almost like this person feels this very close connection, but instead of them nurturing it, they once they create that connection, they sabotage the connection. And it's almost like they can't help themselves. And that's self-sabotaging energy that brings a lot of shame. And it brings a lot of shame because it's like this person lives from their addictions, is what I feel like. Like it's like they really can't help themselves. It's like they're saying, I really do care about you, but I can't control myself. You know, when a person has intimacy issues and trust issues, they can't create that. And so what they do is they create like a fake type of passion, and it's drama, and which is what you saw this person doing. I'm holding back, but again, it's building up this like resistance because you're getting more and more and more and more frustrated, where they are expecting, oh, you're gonna snap. And the thing is, you're not, and you haven't. We've been getting this person more and more and more excited, but it's not. It's about control. And so it's like the only weapon I have is this apology. I'm going to come back with this apology, and I'm really going to lay it on thick. But it's just going to be more of the same because yes, and that's really what I feel like. This person, it keeps secrets from you, and they hope that you don't find out, is what it is. So what happens is that there's a fine line between love and hate. And so there becomes a lot of like resentment, and this person doesn't care because as long as you're connected to them, you're showing that emotion. And that's what an energy vampire pretty much is. An energy vampire is like a narcissist, and is someone that wants to drain your energy. And it's like, I'm not necessarily going to give you anything, so I might friend zone you. So yes, so again, my person might friend zone you or breadcrumb you, hoping that you don't know what your worth is, and them using the emotional connection. And that's the thing. It's like they feel like no one else makes them feel the way that you do. Like this person's obsessive. They're obsessive. But again, when a person's not healed and they have a lot of trauma, it's about control. It's about dominance. It's about wanting to create pain. It's about jealousy, and which is all these lower energies that are derived from shame. So you disconnecting, it's like this person's like playing chicken. It's like they'll wait until like you like walk away for them to come back. It's like, again, this person is seeing other people. It's not like they're not. They don't want you to know about it. It's like they want control. They don't emotionally want to get close to you. See, if I have a lot of other people, then I have full control, because when you don't like something, then I can run to somebody else. And it's because this person is a narcissist. Like I said, they're not a good person. I knew I was losing you, but I didn't do anything to fight for you. It's like, again, they're too prideful. Their ego. It's like, I'm not going to do that. You're going to fight to be with me. You're going to chase me. So you're like, understand, when you don't, and you don't give this person emotion, you better believe they get mad. You better believe they get anxiety, because they're losing control. And that's what you have to do, because this person just wants to take energy. They don't care how they. So, see, I mean, I don't really see anything. Like I said, what I saw was that they didn't really. Always someone interfering in their relationship. When they're dating so many people, they make people like they people too, ones that are really jealous and possessive, and that's what this person likes. They need that. They need that. They could love the drama. They're addicted to the drama. People that grow up in that environment where it was a trauma bond, the parents were always fighting, no one ever got along. They became like addicted to that energy. They might have not even grown up in that environment and they just had a toxic, relationship, and they like that. They need that. That's a codependent person that doesn't show any emotion, that doesn't give any emotion, that makes people not feeling stable or secure in the relationship. It's like, and they love it. And the thing is, when you took your energy back, that it triggered this person because, again, they're very imbalanced. Like I said, there's a very fine line between love and hate, and you have to watch out when it's with people like that. So the best thing that you can say is, obviously, I needed healing, because there's a reason why you attracted this person into your life. Now, doesn't mean that you deserve that, and it doesn't mean that you're as wounded as this person. Unfortunately, there's only two energies, love and fear. So you can have a little bit of fear about an area of your life, like, oh, maybe I'm not that secure financially, and you attract like a fucking crazy idiot like this. And I'm sorry to say that this person, they use people. They're not a good person. They like that. They're hurt people hurt people. I like you, but I want to make you suffer. That's somebody that needs help. That's good. That needs to create triangles. Oh, look how desirable I am. Yeah, no. That's what that is. So the best thing that you can say is, why did I attract this person into my life? What am I supposed to learn? To integrate a spiritual lesson is what we need to do, always. And then we look at the inner child wounds, and then it's embodying a new consciousness. And it doesn't mean that broken people won't come to you. The difference is that you recognize it. You recognize it by, again, what the person does. Person comes in fast. They want to love bomb you. They want you to be, you see what they do. They create instability. You don't entertain somebody more than you entertain yourself, someone that's like not stable. And that would mean waiting for a person, or thinking about that person, or hoping that that person is going to be that person that you want them to be. And we say, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of who and what. Well, we see time and attention and oppression, and that these two reasons why. Now, a parent that is a little too strict can come across as oppressive. I mean, we all need to have our unique unfoldment process. This is how we find who we are. That's why, again, we go out into the world and we have to listen to what calls to us. Like, what are we passionate about? What do we lose our time, our energy, our focus, our money? And when we put our energy to those things, it makes a way out of no way, because you meet people and those people tell you about different places and situations, and you become grounded and more into life, and your own unique individuality flourishes. But this is not what happened here. It's, again, that you didn't put time and attention in creating yourself because someone in your environment didn't allow you to do that. So that traumatic, like, experience, of, well, maybe I can't. When we get older, we realize that we actually can now, but we don't think to do it because we get caught up in work, and we get caught up in having a family or having kids, and then having responsibilities, and just other things take precedence instead of going out and finding like our calling, because it's the answer really is inside of you, but we don't remember until we, again, go out into the world and we like are called to different things. Like, I always liked this. I was always into this. I was always good at this. You know, it's like, and it's something that is connected to your heart, because that's how, what connects you to God. That's what connects you to other people, again, to each other. And that's how emotionally you get fulfilled. But if you're not going to fulfill yourself and your cup isn't full and you're waiting for someone else to come into your life, yeah, they're going to take your energy for what they want to take your energy for. They didn't earn it. They have to earn it. And it's not that you're being mean. It's like you have to teach a person to respect you. If you're always available, it's like, do you value the razors that you get on the sidewalk for free? No, you don't. You take them for granted, right? So we have to say, what else brings it is shame, naive. I feel like um, if you grew up with someone oppressing you, then there is a little bit of a comfort when you go out into the world and you meet a person that has a strong personality. You can't really decipher between, someone that is controlling or someone that really is like has your best interest if you were raised by someone that was oppressive, right? It's what we're used to, even though it didn't feel good. So, the naive was giving that person too much credit for, instead of they didn't earn it. They needed to earn it. Trust is something that happens over time. It's again too fast, and really they have shame. They're the ones that have shame. Perfectionism is that. Now, if you have shame, you might feel, well, I'm inadequate. There's something wrong. So you don't display the energy of shame the same way that this person does, where they cocky and they're stubborn and it's my way or the highway, and this really too much masculine energy, where you may have too much feminine energy, right? So where spirit says, well, I bring you the medicine that you need. So, by being more strategic and deciphering more, it's better, because you can't just trust anyone, because people want to take your energy, and that's very suppressing for you. Understand the trauma that you dealt with, and you go deep inside of yourself. The child that survives thrives through the imagination, detachment, disassociation disorder. They're already in the spiritual realm. That is the spiritual realm. When you live in between worlds, you get a very vivid imagination. Again, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it, that you can manifest, which, understand, that's why this person is like, oh, you're not really that affected from them, and they're that nervousness, you're taking power back, that excitedness, that like it's a game or something, where it's not really even a game, as well, because again of that, what I like, it's not a normal energy, and that when you grow up that way, it's like you didn't feel safe. And when you detached and disassociated, you were with source, that you're in the spiritual realm, so you have a very close connection to source. And that's why I feel like this person sees your light. They're not light. They don't want you to know your light. They want to oppress your light. They want to take your light. If anything, they would be jealous of you, which again, a dominant energy. I want to take your energy, which is what we pretty much saw. And that's why I'm saying that it's just playing out differently than how you grew up. You grew up with a parent that did that. And so that trauma of like, I don't have control over my life. Like, this person's going to control me. Second chakra imbalance. So again, boundaries. We can go with the flow of life when we're in the passion for life, meaning I set my boundaries, because no, I'm not going to be around for you, because I have other things that I'm passionate about. And which means that whoever's coming into your life, they better be contributing to you emotionally. Otherwise, they're already competing with a life that you're already created for yourself. That also gives spirit a way to work through to bring you different people into your life. Oh, I never meet anyone. Well, it's not just going to happen. It's like you have to, again, fill your own cup up and understand. Spirit says, what do you think? I don't know your type? Think I don't know your kind? Like I didn't make you? Like I don't know? I know you better than you know you, but you don't do your own part. So you're not living in this anymore. Spirit's saying. So ships are in the harbor are nice, but that's not what you're made for. Children also that are oppressed, they tend to be like not as, secure, right? Not as grounded. We saw a lot of in the head energy, right? In the imagination with source, not grounded, where spirit says you have to ground. And so you also, it's okay to be a loner, but really we're not here for that. We're here to give and receive of love, to be the expression of love. So emotionally, you actually are getting fed so that you don't have to just go out and be friends with people, but join things. Relationships are something that happen over time. Trust is something that happens over time. Then when someone comes into your life, you could again train them. I'm not always going to be around for you, or you want to see me, well, where you can pick me up and we could go get something to eat after my class. They have to put a little effort in. It's like they don't want to do that. You weeded them out. Again, don't say, well, that's all that there are. People that invest in themselves are not going to like treat the person that they want to be with like shit. People that don't invest in themselves, that don't know anything about how to create the life. If we want to have a good life, we're not treating people like shit because there's karma. And so ignorant people live that way. You're ignorant to understanding why you attract that type of person. Where really spirit's saying it's again, you can have whatever you want. The illusion is that you can't have it because you're like, no, 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 because this has been my track record. This happened in seventh grade, this happened in ninth grade, this happened when I was 40, this happened when I was 15. And spirit says, well, you do the same thing, you're going to get the same result. You didn't do anything different. So again, that's what a karmic loop is. A karmic loop is I always get treated like shit. I'm always the victim. It's always my fault. I never get what I need emotionally. I'm always the fixer. It's always keeping a person in this lower energy. And so Spirit's saying it's like, you're not here for that. You're here to give and receive of love. And it works when you're working it for yourself. Then person comes into your life. It's like, and then you say, no, I'm not going to be around for you. They don't want it. They come try and make you not stay on track. That's a bad sign. A person that invests in themselves would not ask you to abandon yourself. And understand, if you abandon yourself, spirit says you abandon me because I live inside of you. So again, a person will come on really strong and try and get you to do that. And spirit says, nah, don't get overwhelmed by it. Understand, you grew up in that energy. And that, so you might be someone that's sensitive and gets very overstimulated when a person comes in. And so it's hard for you to set boundaries. Spirit says it's a lot easier when you're not alone and you have support, when you have a ground. Again, we're talking root chakra imbalances. Someone oppressed you. We have to do things differently. We have to get back in our body. We have to be in the moment. We have to get a good connection to the higher self, which is that God part of self. We have to do the meditation that'll help us to get to that, to train, recondition yourself, because you're never alone. And there's no reason why you have to live a relationship where you feel, again, that you can't have love. Those people go to anybody. Understand that. They'll go to anybody and everyone. They don't know who they're going to, but eventually they're going to find out how much you value yourself. by how much you give. So you have to really like give yourself more, is what Spirit says. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with a person like this, and that would keep you in a place of feeling like, wow, like I can't have. And God says, don't do my job, do your job. It's like your job is to go out and create yourself, to give and receive of love. You're not allowed to say how we get there. You're not allowed to say, you know, and any of it really. You're only allowed to, like, again, utilize what's in your environment to help create yourself. That's it. And to, have faith and to work on yourself the best way that you know how. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Spirit says everything's in divine order. So you worrying about it ain't going to get us anywhere. The Spirit says, gave you free will, but we don't want to, drive the car off the cliff because you don't really know, is what Spirit's saying. Want to make sure this is all the same. Okay. And it is. So, we also have to transmute the negative energy. We have to alchemize. We can't just, learn it in our head. Otherwise, we're going to be like, well, I just always attract that type person. Spirit says, well, you have to embody a new consciousness. You have to be able to see yourself differently. And sometimes that's, well, I avoided the negative karmic consequence. And how do you know? Because now I'm watching that person live their karmic consequence, and that could be first, they lost me. And if I was there, the person like that, they avoid their own problems. They don't just, the person that dates that many people and has insignificant relationships, they have problems in their life in other areas. They're escaping their life. So they're with that many people because it takes that many people to clean up their mess, and you don't want to be part of that. The Spirit's saying it's like there's karmic consequences for, helping a person like that too. So you have to be true to yourself, love yourself more, is what Spirit says. So that, you can attract a person that's going to love you the way that you deserve to be loved. Otherwise people will treat you like the damn janitor, like in your own home, like where you're not the maid, you're not the cook. You don't want a compartmentalized relationship. That's not what you're looking to do. Spirit says, this situation was to help you alchemize, okay? Like you wouldn't have been able to alchemize, which was about letting go of who you were to become who you are. Spirit says, yes, it was a stepping stone, that every single situation brings you to, evolving back into your true self, your higher self, the God part of self, just the energy of unconditional love, so that you can manifest. Because when you clear those spiritual blockages, the prana, chi, air that you breathe, again, is I was going to say Prada, like is spirit. That's what the prana is. Spirit. Spirit gives us life. It's like it gives you life. It's like it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And so the thing is that when you clear those spiritual blockages, you get more energy. And that energy is to help create yourself, to become a new version of yourself, to integrate all facets of yourself, because you had fragmentation because someone oppressed you growing up. And it was about releasing control. Like, it's not about controlling a person. Like, a person that wants to be this difficult, you let them go. The first sign of problems, you let them go. But if emotionally you're not taking care of yourself, it's too difficult. You're going to give that person a second chance, a third chance. You're going to want to do the right thing. You're going to want to feel. And Spirit says it's all about, again, knowing who you are. Release the limiting belief that no longer serve you, that you are deserving, that you're deserving of it, is what Spirit's saying. And it was to actually have to go back into a similar experience, like one that you grew up in, and handle it differently. and to know that you're always protected, that no matter what you go through, because the divine is always there, you just have to act on it. That as long as you do what you need to do for yourself, you'll you're divinely protected. That no one can take what's yours. Only you can forfeit what's yours by letting somebody emotionally throw you off. By again, and that's what this person would pretty much do because they love drama. They don't want to give anything. They just want like that. And it's like because hey, then I'm gonna be able to manipulate you and get you to do what I want you to do. And that's someone that's really off. And like I said, you aren't really off, but the trauma that you grew up with still needed to be integrated, Spirit says, needed to be alchemized. And that only way that you can do that is to create like a new you. And you can't create a new you until release the limiting beliefs that no longer serve. Well, how would you even know what limiting beliefs you had until an experience manifested? And you say, I don't think that about myself. And Spirit says, you didn't alchemize the energy. You're in physical form to walk into to embody a new consciousness, to see yourself differently, to see the experience differently. You don't see it differently. So we have to look at the core beliefs. And Spirit's saying it's like, and yes, really, it was about letting go of the past. And we can't really let go of the past when someone has traumatized us until we able to see that we're a different person. No one can actually do that to us now. That we also have support now where we didn't have support when we were younger. So, you're dealing with the same karmic theme, but differently is what Spirit's saying. Otherwise, those karmic loops continue to play out just with different people in different scenarios. And who the hell needs that? Nobody. Nobody's got time for that. Spirit says, you want to be with somebody that, like is going to honor you, is going to love you, but you have to teach them and you have to do that for yourself first. And it starts with finding what you love. Again, joy, Spirit. So, like a child, discover joy. It's again that you get to go be like childlike. That's the second chakra was blocked, which children go out and they find themselves. That's how they fill themselves up with the joy, happiness, passion, and you can find it in the simplicities of life. It doesn't even need to be like major. If you like nature, go out and join a hiking group. Like there's simple things. You like gardening, go out and put your hand in dirt. Happiness lies in the magical moments, not in material. Even the smallest joy is a great source of light. So it builds with just a tiny bit of change, and then you build on it and you build on it because you want to, not because, oh, I have to do this. It's a passion. I want to do this just as much as you had a passion for that person that, wasn't who you thought that they were. They were who you wanted them to be, is who you thought that they were, and they were not that. And Spirit said you weren't able to discern, and you weren't able to discern the counterfeit because you didn't do it for yourself. And so it's all about that. Where's the joy? Be like a child. Like it feels uncomfortable. And Spirit says, I'm asking you to go out and have fun, and you're telling me it's uncomfortable. Or I don't have time. I'm tired. And Spirit says, well, that tells us why things look the way that they do. You're like, I know people that hook up. My friend tells me this all the time. I see people that hook up all the time and they just met on a dating site. It's like if you have spiritual blockages, the chances of you meeting someone on a dating site, like without doing the healing that you need to do, but you keep trying to do that, you're going to only date the same people. I watch my friend. She's dating the same loser guys. They all, I love you. I'm gonna take you away. Would you like that? I'm gonna, help raise your son. Tell her all the things that she wants to hear, and they're here for a good time, not a long time. And then it's like, and to the point that she gets depressed. It's a karmic loop. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And if you don't think that deteriorates a person over time, it does. It wears them away. So you might as well do the healing that needs to be done, which is go out and have some fun. Go out and see different aspects of the world. See yourself for who you really are today. And that's by, hey, what do you like? What calls to you? What stirs up your soul? What are you passionate about? Meet people that resonate with you and the things that you enjoy to do. This way, when a person comes into your life, you have boundary. You can't just come into my life. I have a life and I enjoy my life. So it's, again, what are you just going to come into my life? I don't know who you are. I value my life. It's like too many people, again, assume that the person is somebody that they're not. And it's because you're not balanced. It's like driving in a car and looking in the rear view mirror. That what you're seeing is not as close as what's in the rear view mirror. It's like you can't gauge. It's like everything's distorted. Your perceptions are distorted you don't when you don't give yourself. So it's not like, oh, how come I didn't see that? It's like you didn't see that because you were too close up to the picture. But then when you get out of the relationship and you look back, you're like, oh, yeah, that time. Yeah, that time. Yeah, that time. It's like very rarely is it like, you know, oh, this person didn't do anything. There were telltale signs. We just chose not to see them or look the other way or give the person a second chance. That doesn't happen when you're having a good time in life. You're like, you fucked me over, get the hell out of my life. It's like, you're not getting a second chance. Why? It's like, so that they can do it again. People learn through consequences. It's unfortunate, but that's what they do. And a person like that, they need for the universe to come in and give them like an ass whooping, in my opinion. You know. So, does anyone have any questions? Anyone? 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 This was a ugly story. This person was a jerk, but it's a true story and you hear about it every day. So just know that those people go to everyone and you're not deserving of it. That you have to, again, prove that you're not deserving of it to the divine by doing for yourself, by loving on yourself. And until next time, be true to yourself. If you resonated or liked the video, please give it a like. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.